coming in and what he's going to bring in terms of being your recruiting guy.
Yeah, relative to the draft, I mean, it impacts college baseball in a significant way. I mean, I'm kind of one of those guys that they decided to go the direction they decided to go, so they're not a part of LSU. So I don't have a lot of thoughts or comments on it. My job is to manage who we're going to have and what we do going forward. And so we're under process in that. You know, you mentioned the position. It's obviously one of the most important positions on the field. I think when you look at Alex, he has tremendous defensive skills. I think he's one of the best catch and throw guys in college baseball. I'm excited to see what we can do to help him improve as an offensive player. And he's very excited to undergo the process of what that's going to take to do that. You know, in terms of Hayden Travinski, I think he has a lot of talent. I mean, I remember when he committed to LSU, you know, he was one of the better or more high profile recruits in the country at that time. So we need to get him healthy, and then we'll address the position by other means to make sure that we're covered. And so that's critically important. In terms of Coach Fitzgerald, I mean, I interviewed a lot of assistant coaches. I had at least 10 face-to-face coaching interviews before I landed on our staff. And so with Coach Fitzgerald, how he kind of rose to the top for me is, number one, he's an incredible human being. And it starts with the right people in your organization. He's a guy of high character, high work ethic, great motor. And then you look at the skill set, he was the best combination of recruiter and developer. On the recruiting side of it, I think his evaluation skills set him apart. And kind of, you know, playing off what Ron said, recruiting here is more about evaluation than anything else. How do you hit that sweet spot just below the top of the draft and can, you know, have the players necessary to compete for championships and be an Omaha caliber team? I think he's excellent at that. He also, you know, has coached third base at an elite program. You know, he's going to work with our infielders. He's going to be critical in the defensive positioning. And so I just thought he was very complete. And that's why I brought him to LSU.
Hey, Coach, Matt Trent, WBRZ. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on the gift and the curse of this year's draft being 20 rounds, because maybe if it was normal with, you know, 40 some, maybe Gavin, Devin, Mikhail wouldn't be here. And, you know, is that a luxury now? Just kind of, how do you view the not so normal draft this year in your case?
Better than 40 rounds, not as good as 5 rounds is how I view that. So, you know, it's just adapt, improvise, overcome. I mean, college athletics right now, that's the continual model that you have to do. And whatever the circumstances are, they are what they are. You know, Jay Johnson is not going to change those. So we have to come up with a plan instead of complaining about it, do what we need to do. Now, relative to those 3 players, they would not have signed after the 20th round. I mean, 2 of them made a declaration that after 10 rounds were over and their signing demands weren't met, that they were going to return to LSU. And I'm very thankful to them for that, for having such conviction in their ability and belief in what we're going to try to do here over the next year and how it can positively impact them going forward. And same with Gavin. I mean, he was very communicative to me. So I think college baseball is the best path for player development. I understand the one thing that changes people's mind is money, and everybody's financial situation is different. But regardless of the money, you will not convince me that the low minor leagues, or what I call complex baseball, is a better environment to develop than Alex Box Stadium, than playing in the SEC, than having an opportunity to go to Omaha, than going to the Cape Cod League, than playing for Team USA, to having people that are really invested in your success. So that's my feelings on that.
And just to follow up that, Coach, do you, in so many words, and you can tell us whatever you can, is that why Devin and Gavin didn't go, because their financial demands were too high, or that they just weren't slotted by the teams that were interested in their projected rounds?
Well, I've watched both of them pitch. I don't think the interest was a problem. I think it probably came down to they believe in themselves. I think we had a shared message of what we want the next 11 to 12 months to look like. I think they think that we can help them. And there's some other things in play there too. There's some emotional pull, which a lot of times pulls people to professional baseball. Their emotional pull was to our program and to this opportunity. And so that's very encouraging as a coach to have guys feel that way about what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it, and how it can positively impact them and LSU baseball. So I'm very grateful to them for all of those things.
Hey, Jay, it's Wilson. Are you able to, at this point, comment on Mark? And if so, what are y'all getting in him as a volunteer hitting coach?
Yes, I am. I can comment on Mark pending a background check. So that's where we're at in that process. So very excited to have him. I think our offensive success has been well documented at the two previous stops. We've known each other for 25 years, have worked together for a long period of time. There is a very synergistic mindset and approach to what we are doing. There'll never be a confusing element to our players about the expectation of what a quality at bat is or what we're trying to do relative to a hitter's count, a 2-strike count, runners in scoring position, mechanical blueprint. All of those things will be really, really well put in place, so it puts the player in the best position to be successful.